Hello friends and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk to you about one of the stitch patterns that I recently did out of the Japanese Knitting Stitch Bible. So if you have this book, it's pattern number 124. It's on page 70 and it's this beautiful diamond pattern that you can see here. Okay, let me show you what my knitting actually looks like. So I'll close this. Okay, and if you're interested in that stitch pattern, here's what it looks like in my knitting. Now this is 100% cotton from Wool and the Gang, Shiny Happy Cotton. And as you can see, I have added a border on the sides and across the bottom. This is just a plain garter stitch border, but this is what the pattern looks like in cotton. This is actually a knitting fail for me. I wanted to make this into a scarf, so it was going to be very long, but I don't like how the back of the pattern looks. So let me flip this over and show you. This is the back of the pattern, and it doesn't look terrible by any means, but when I wear scarves, I don't like to have to fuss with them. I like to be able to just wrap them around my neck, have them hang, throw them over my shoulder, and not have to worry about a right side showing and a wrong side showing. And the wrong side, it's just not right for what I want to use it for. But I still love this pattern. I think it's absolutely beautiful and it would look great on a number of different knitted items. I just don't like it for this particular one. But if you are interested in using this pattern, I'll just share some thoughts about it. I found it not too difficult whatsoever to complete. There were only 3 stitches that weren't either a purl or a knit, so that was fairly easy for me to do, and I can demonstrate those 3 for you now. So I've already got it set up. So the first stitch that you need to know how to do is just these wraps that you see here. And again, I did not find this difficult, so let me show you how to do that. Okay, so I have done the pattern across until I come to the portion where we need to do our first wrapping. And it says that we need to transfer 6 stitches to a cable needle and wrap the working yarn around them 5 times counterclockwise, and then transfer the 6 wrap stitches to the right needle. Okay, so let's just start and try to keep this in frame. So we need to transfer 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then we wrap our working yarn, okay, around it 5 times counterclockwise. Now, because I am using a cotton yarn, I don't want to wrap these too tightly because cotton doesn't have as much stretch as wool or even, alpaca. So, okay. So let me start over so you can see. Okay, so counterclockwise. So I interpret that to mean I go towards 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock first. So that would be 1. All right, and I can move this hook this way. 2, 3, 4, and that is 5. Okay, so now I've wrapped this around 5 times, and I just need to transfer these stitches to my right needle. So I'll just slide them to the end of my cable needle and transfer them over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. Okay, hopefully, oh, it's out of frame, there we go. Hopefully you can, so now you can see as I've come across, now those 6 stitches are wrapped, And now you just continue with the pattern as follows. And for where I am, it's continue to knit. So I'll knit a few just so you can see how to do that. So my yarn, working yarn is here, and you just knit. And that will, and now that I've knit one, that has secured those wraps in place. Okay, so let's see. Done. Let's see if I can bring this up. See, there we go. And there you go. That's what creates those wraps. It's very easy to do. And then the only, so the other two stitches are the left or right leaning cables that make up the actual diamond pattern. So let me finish across this row and then I'll show you what those look like. So I'm back. So I've already shown you how to do the wraps as one of the more complicated stitches involved with this pattern from the Japanese knitting stitch Bible, and it wasn't that difficult. So now I've come to the point where I need to do the second and the third, because there's 3 more complicated stitches in this pattern other than just knits and purls. And let's see, when I look at my pattern, this first one, it says I need to place 1 stitch on a cable needle, hold to back, knit 3, knit 1 from cable needle. Okay, so let's do that. So I have my cable needle, place 1 stitch on the cable needle, place 1 stitch on the cable needle, hold to back. All right, so because I'm using this nice hook one, I can actually just drop it and I'm not going to lose my stitch. Now the one thing is, when you do this stitch with the working yarn, look, you do not want to wrap that stitch with the working yarn. You want to bring that yarn here up so that this stitch is behind the working yarn. Okay, there we go. I hope you can see that. Now I'm going to knit 3. So that stitch is just going to hang there on that needle, and I'm going to knit 1, knit 2, knit 3. But now I need to knit 1 from the cable needle. Here it is. And so that's what I'm going to do now. This just takes a little bit of finessing. It's hard to make sure I don't go out of frame. Okay. Don't split the yarn. Okay, I did it. All right. And I knit 1, and you can even see now that is going to make this cable start leaning to the right. It's going to start leaning that way. Okay, so the next one, we actually want to start leaning towards the left. So to do that, we're going to place 3 stitches on a cable needle, hold to the front, knit 1, knit 3 from the cable needle. Okay, so let's do that. So 1, 2, I wish my cat fur didn't stick to everything, but it does. Or I should say my cat's fur. Knit 3, okay, or excuse me, place 3 stitches on the cable needle, hold to front. So I'm just going to let that hang there, those stitches won't come off, and I'm just going to knit 1, knit 1, okay. Now I need to knit 3 from the cable needle. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And that's it. So if you were interested in doing this stitch pattern from the Japanese knitting stitch Bible, I hope that you can see it's really not as difficult as it may appear to be. There was only 3 more complicated stitches, but even those were fairly easy to do. And just remember, if you do This garter stitch border I added. It is not part of the pattern. And the one thing I would recommend getting is just a cable needle, just using a cable needle with this nice hook. I find it to be the easiest. So I hope that was helpful, just demonstrating some of the more complicated stitches and gave you some useful information if you were going to use that stitch pattern from the Japanese knitting stitch Bible. Oh, that's a tongue twister. And friends, if you haven't already, come say hi to me on Instagram. I post lots of things there, and you can see what I'm working with, and you can leave me a comment. It'd be great to actually know who's watching my videos. You can also leave a comment below. I will check back regularly, and if you have any questions, I will try to answer them. Anyways, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.